Ready? Okay, good morning class. I hope you're enjoying your day. We are going to start off with a video about scuba diving that have to deal with positive and negative integers. Hope you enjoy.
Scuba diving looks like a lot of fun, but it takes several weeks of training to learn how to dive safely. One of the main things scuba divers have to understand is air pressure. You see, it might not seem like it, but air has mass, and the weight of the air above us exerts pressure. The weight of the atmosphere exerts a pressure of 14.7 pounds per square inch at sea level. In other words, a 1-inch column of air as tall as the atmosphere, about 50 miles, weighs 14.7 pounds. This unit is called 1 atmosphere of pressure, or 1 ATM. Scuba divers have to be concerned with air pressures because water is much heavier than air, so it exerts higher pressures with less volume. A cubic foot of seawater weighs 64 pounds. To exert 14.7 psi, 1 ATM, it takes 50 miles of air, whereas it only takes 33 feet of water to exert the same pressure. If you've ever dived underwater, even in a pool, you've probably felt this pressure change in your ears. If divers don't constantly monitor air pressure and adjust to the changes, they can suffer serious injury. However, as long as you know your math and follow your training, scuba diving can be one of the most exciting things you'll ever try.
Okay, so class, that was a lot of information, but I did want you to see that. So let's have a discussion really quick about sea diving, okay? If you are going to scuba dive, you have to know how much air is in your tank. You have to know how far you're diving. You have to know how long you think you might be able to stay under the water. Those are all things that you have to look at. So we are going to talk about comparing and ordering integers, finding the absolute values, and also adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing integers. We've been talking about this all week long, and you guys have done a fantastic job of doing this. So this question says, a driver jumps off the deck of a boat 3 feet above the ocean surface and descends to a depth of 25 feet. What vertical distance does the diver travel? So first we have to decide if we're going in a positive manner or a negative manner. Since we are at 3 feet above the ocean surface, and the word descends means to go down, you're diving into the water. So we are 3 feet above and we are going to go to a depth of 25 feet. We are at a positive and we are going to go to a negative. If I have a positive and a negative number, I have to find the difference of the two. The difference of 3 minus 25 would be 22. And it would have a negative sign in front of it due to the fact that the larger number is negative. Okay? So when you are adding and subtracting numbers, integers, the larger number of whatever sign gives you the answer. So it'd be positive or negative. So let's review very quickly our rules for multiplication. If I have a negative number times a positive number, I am always going to end up with a negative product, a negative answer. So a negative times a positive equals a negative. With our commutative property, we know if I have a positive times a negative, that also is going to equal a negative. Okay? So just simple things to remember. So let's continue going. If I have a negative times a negative, I'm going to end up with a positive. So over here, I'm going to write negative times negative equals positive. And then the last one I have would be just our positive times positive, 2 times 3, which would equal a positive 6. Okay? The same rules apply to division because you are doing the opposite of multiplication. Just like if we were going to take this and make it subtraction, we would be doing the inverse operation. Okay? So really quick, let's do a division problem, and then I want to do one subtraction problem. A division would be 16 divided by 4. Again, we do not have any negative integers. We only have positive, so our answer is going to, of course, be positive. If I have a negative 16 and I divide it by a positive 4, I am going to end up with a quotient or an answer in a division problem of a negative 4. If I have a negative 16 divided by a negative 4, I'm going to end up with a positive 4 because our rules apply. Positive times a negative is going to equal a negative. Positive times a negative will equal a negative. A positive times a positive is going to equal a positive. Okay? So let's go back to subtraction really quick, just to remind you. I am going to subtract this number. The subtraction sign here tells me that I am taking something away. My parentheses around tells me that this number is not going to change. So I end up with a funny little saying of 2 minus 13. Now I have two ways to remember this. I can remember it as keep. I'm going to keep the number that's here. I'm going to change this number, and I'm going to change this because two negatives are always going to give me a positive. So now I can write this problem as 2 plus 13. A keep and a change, or if you just want, make one large plus sign in the middle. Okay? If you have any questions, you need to follow up with the 2 games that you have been assigned today that are also on your website. You also have some practice to do. Again, tutoring is at 7:30 on Thursday and after school on Thursday. If you need another time, please come and see me. Have a fantastic day.